Hello, you two. Let me just post on Twitter, and I'll start doing stuff. Oh god. The music is pretty loud because we need to actually hear what I'll be doing. Let me just make sure if I'm using the right words. Alright, I think we are ready to go. Okay, I think we are ready to go. Alright, so I'll leave the music on for a little bit, but when I actually start working, I'll turn off the music. So yeah, this is just a little experiment. I'm not sure how this is gonna go. We'll see how this is gonna go. It's been a while since I've actually done an arrangement, so I'm a little bit rusty. But yeah. Alright, so the song I'm arranging is... Let me stop the music. The song I'm arranging is Verdanturf Town, and it's a commission. The person has already paid, so everything's in order. And I don't think this will be particularly hard. The song is quite simple. So let's just listen. Let's just listen to the song, the original version, and then we can move on to the MIDI editor and start actually working on it. All right. So I'm sure everyone knows Verdanturf Town. Let me know if the music sound is good. Okay, so Verdanturf Town. Yeah, I'll make the comments after the loop, so we don't get distracted. Alright, so Verdanturf Town has this piano intro, which is probably gonna be the hardest part actually, because piano doesn't translate very well to chiptune. Then comes in I guess this is a flute, right? This is kind of a flutey sound. This is what you can hear up here. Then comes in the pulse channels, or whatever that instrument is. And this is like part 3, and then it just loops, right? It has that little thing in the end. Alright. So that's Verdanturf Town. It's pretty short, and something interesting is that it doesn't have noise, it doesn't have percussion. Or if it does have percussion, I'll have to be creative with it. I can't hear percussion in the song, so that makes it much easier. So you won't need to see my terrible process for translating percussion. All right, so all my remixes start with this program here. It's called MIDI Editor. It's a fantastic program. Also terrible program. This crashes all the time. But it's like the best MIDI editor I've been able to find, because it color codes all the channels, all the tracks, and it does what I need it to do, which is move tracks, move notes around, and just prepare the song. So this first part of the process, is just preparing the song for the Game Boy, right? So this song doesn't have percussion, so we have 3 channels to work with. And as you can see, we have like 10 tracks. So stuff's gotta go. So arranging chiptune, for me at least, for the Game Boy, is just what needs to stay and what needs to go, or what isn't needed for the song to sound. So I'm gonna play the song on the MIDI editor. It's gonna sound a little bit different from the recording, from the actual like host version, because sometimes the sound font doesn't work very well, and in this song there's a problem with the sound font. So you'll hear like these weird percussion sounds, but those don't really exist in the original song. So let me play the song again. So this is playing on the MIDI editor, right? So this is the first piano intro, and immediately I look at this and see, okay, there are echoes here. Okay. See, there's those sounds? Yeah, that's a problem with the sound font. The sound font is not working right. But it's close enough. Actually, let me make sure the sound font is actually the right... Oh, okay, the sound font is not even applied. That's why it sounds weird. Never mind. Okay, we are here, right? Okay. Now it's better. I knew something was weird. Okay, so clear bass line. This is perfect. Wave channel immediately. I look at this and I see wave channel. And I think this part is easier to translate. Alright, so I look at this and I see, alright, so immediately, like, the first thing I do is usually label the tracks, so I know what each track does. And my method of labeling tracks is kinda weird. I don't really follow like music conventions or anything, it's just stuff that makes sense in my mind. So I would call this melody part 1. This is the melody track, and this plays on part 1. This is, I would call it melody. This is not a melody, right? This is probably the accompaniment, right? Okay, this is the melody. This is like this is the... What's this? Okay, this is the audio that's broken. Yeah. So what's happening here, it's just this channel is not properly, like, using the proper sound font. But I don't think that's going to be a problem, because we probably won't use this. So let's see. Okay. This is kind of like strings, yeah? String ensemble, probably. Okay, so this is melody part 3. Yeah, so what's really good about Gen 3 MIDIs is that they usually like are very clean. The sound fonts work mostly. They are very clean. It's very easy to arrange stuff. So yeah, Gen 3 doesn't pose a problem. So track 3 is definitely... Things are divided properly. So yeah, this is... see, this program is terrible. This is the flute, right? So this is melody part 2. But this is a flute, and I'm gonna try putting this flute on the wave channel, because the wave channel does these types of sounds well. So track 4, what are you doing? Let's see. Okay, this is the bass. But there are 2 bass lines, so they just repeat. So this is like the same. So this is like a bass. This bass is like this is like a pulse bass. You can hear it's a pulse. It's one of the pulse channels on the GBA. See, that's it. That's just doubling the bass. So yeah, useless. Right. So let's see. What does track 5 do? Where are you? Okay. So track 5 is like the accompaniment for part 1. Oh god, this program, terrible. You can barely hear it. It's very quiet because that's the echo. Okay, so this is accompaniment part 1 echo. We don't need the echoes probably, unless I want to be spicy and put one of these echoes in the wave channel. I might try it just to see if it sounds okay. So this is the accompaniment. This is just the piano, Gen 3 piano. It's terrible piano, but there we go. So this is accompaniment part 1. Track 7 is... Okay, this is one of those tracks I call effects. This is just doubling the melody. And here it's doing something more interesting. Let's see what it's doing. Okay, this is the accompaniment for part 3. Right? So if you put the melody part 3... Okay, this could be a bit of an issue. And the reason I say this could be an issue is because we can see this accompaniment is playing the same notes as the melody. Okay, we can hear a little bit of stereo at the end there. That could be cute to replicate. This is just... Okay, so this is accompaniment of part 3. Let's clear all that. So you are probably just doubling up on... Sorry. This is probably just doubling up on the melody. Yeah, this is just melody. What I call an echo is just stuff that's... Tracks that are just doubling up on other tracks or are making an echo. And usually I don't translate those to Game Boy because you just can't. You don't have... so this is a useless track. And what are you doing? Okay, so this one is broken. But this is just another melody echo for... This is not an echo, this is a chord for the melody, but I don't have space for chords. So that's probably gonna go. So looking at this, I see a bit of an issue, which is... The problem here is that the accompaniment of part 3 is playing the same notes as the melody. And on the Game Boy, when two notes play on different channels, when they play the same note, there's like a weird like effect. They like there's like this destructive wave interference or something like that. They sound pretty strange. I'm trying to think. I usually try to avoid it because it sounds weird. But I'm trying to think if there's any song where I let that slip. I know one song that has it, but it's not an arrangement of mine. It's the Mega Man Wily Castle, weirdly enough. Let me play that for you so you can hear what I'm talking about. So this is just the Mega Man Wily Castle, Mega Man 2, right? And there's a little part. I think it's... Okay, so pay attention to like the notes, the sounds after this part, and see if you can hear like a weird sound on the pulses. This. There's like a weird note here. Am I missing? I think it's that note there. This note. That note, exactly that note sounds weird because it's playing the same note on the two channels, I'm pretty sure. Or like an octave difference. That happens when, yeah, if I open like the GBS file, I'm not sure if I actually do have it. Let me check. I think I do have the Mega Man 2. Sorry, this is not very important, but it's like one of those things about the Game Boy that like you need to like pay attention to. I don't have, unfortunately, I don't have the Mega Man 2. Wait, it's not GBS. This is a NES. Oh, I do have it. Okay, let's see if I can play it on Fubar. Pretty sure I'll be able to. Okay, let's see. Ignore this. Okay, let's see if I can. Okay. So what can I do here is can you hear that notes? You can hear it very well here. Can you hear that like weird notes there? This, can you hear that like weird like interference? Am I being too pedantic about this? Am I like the only one who can hear these notes? It really annoys me when this happens. I can definitely hear it, but that like weird sounds, yeah, that's when we have two notes playing. If I just play one of the channels, we probably can hear it better. It's supposed to sound like that, but it doesn't sound like that. Because the two channels are probably playing the same note or very close. Anyway, back to the Verdanturf Town. What's gonna happen here is if I play these two channels, these two notes, like you can see the notes, they play the same note, and if I tried, fatally here I'm talking about that note better. Yeah, I can guarantee that happens, and it probably only annoys me, but it does happen, and the way. I'm trying to think if there's any arrangement. I'm pretty sure there's a song, some song I arranged that I let that slip, but I usually try to avoid it. Okay, so how to avoid this? Basically, the only way you can avoid it is to do stereo. If you do stereo, so if you put so the stereo on Game Boy is the most basic stereo you can imagine. It's just everything on one side and everything on the other side. You can't have or in the middle. So you can't have like partially like 90% on the left and 10% center or whatever. The Game Boy is just 100% on the left, 100% on the right. Actually, I'm remembering a song where I can show this. So in this case, what I do is do stereo. But I just remember there is one song I arranged where I avoided this by doing stereo. Let me see if I can find it. I'm pretty sure I can find it. It's True System from Ace Attorney 4. Where are you, True C? Okay, let's see. okay, so through system. Okay, so this program is another the other program I use when I'm not doing GBA, sorry, Pokemon music. So what I did to avoid it in this song was just do stereo, but I don't think it works very well. So let's see if I can force the... Ooh, okay. This one doesn't let you do like BGB lets you force BGB lets you force sorry. BGB lets you force the Game Boy to play on mono. Let me open BGB. Just real quick, just to show how it would sound. It sounds like awful. Okay, let's see. Okay, so what I can do on BGB is just force the sound to be mono. Okay. So this is what this song would sound like if it was mono. Let's see if I can actually... You can hear how terrible it sounds. Can you hear? Like, I can perfectly hear how when they play the same notes, it sounds terrible. I can, like, it makes like interference. It's very weird. Anyway, we want to avoid that. That's like I spent like the last 20 minutes or whatever explaining this. We want to avoid that because it sounds terrible. The easy way would be to do stereo. So I would put one of the channels in one ear, one of the channels in the other ear. And since this is for Gen 2, most Gen 2 music is in stereo, so makes sense. So I would do stereo here, and I would put... this has an extra... Oh god, it's almost not sounding... And I'd switch the stereo here in this section. I would, because this part doesn't have interference, so that's easy. Alright, so that's part 3 done. This song doesn't have noise, so that's perfect for us. We have the bass line here, so this part would sound just like that. You can, for some reason, sometimes the sound font doesn't play properly, but that would sound pretty decently. Let's see. This is the flute. Okay, so this is where I'm gonna be a bit spicy. And let me turn off Discord. I'm gonna put this part in the wave channel, and I'm gonna be a bit spicy about it. Okay, so let's start organizing this. So the song is very easy. I don't really need to change anything. So now's the time where I'm gonna compress the song or reduce it to 3 tracks in this case, not 4. So this is gonna be our pulse 1. And this is gonna be our pulse 2. And you're gonna be our wave. All right? So now we need to start moving stuff around so it fits. So pulse 1 is filled. Pulse 2 doesn't do anything here. So I'm gonna copy the accompaniment. This part is the bass for this section, right? So what I'm gonna do is select all this pink stuff and move it over to pulse 2. But now we have a little bit of an issue because this note is gonna play while these notes are playing. So I'm gonna have to put this note somewhere else, or maybe not even play it. Let's see, how does that sound? Can you even hear it? Let's hear everything. Oh yeah, this is the... Yeah, this part doesn't have... Yeah, we are not even gonna be using this section, right? This section is useless for us. So I'm just gonna delete everything here. So I'm gonna use this 4 parts too. So it's gonna sound like that. We have like the staccato violins. I think that's what you can most hear in the song. Let's hear the original again. Yeah, you can clearly hear the staccato. Like if you really squint, you can hear the yellow section, but it's very in the background. Somewhere around here. Yeah, you can faintly hear it, but I think the staccato strings here, you can hear them way more. So I'm gonna keep those and I'm gonna delete the yellow. So the yellow is important here because it's our melody, but here we don't care about it. So I'm gonna delete the... let me just make sure I'm deleting the right thing. Yeah, so all of this, bye-bye, you are not needed anymore. I'm sorry. So now yellow is free to get this part, which is the accompaniments for... So we're moving events to track, and now they are yellow. See? That's what we wanted. All right, so now pink is doing the bass, but the bass here is gonna be on pulse 2, is not gonna be on pulse 1 or wave, because actually maybe I'll need to put it on pulse 1 because of this. So let me just put that on pulse 1. And now wave. Now, if you're confused about what I'm doing, like each channel on the Game Boy doesn't really correspond to a track, so I'm trying to fit all the tracks into the 3 channels, and what each channel is gonna be playing is not the same thing as a track. Like they can play multiple tracks and change, like over the course of the song I can change what each channel is playing or which part of the song each channel is playing. So what's gonna happen is that we start the melody on pulse 1. Actually, the melody should be on pulse 2, not pulse 1, for reasons. Let me change that. You never want the melody on pulse 2, on pulse 1, sorry. For one simple reason, which is, let's see if I don't miss. If I don't actually miss anything. And the reason I want to put the melody on pulse 2 and not on pulse 1, the reason why I'm doing that is because on the Gen 2 games, the pulse 1 is used for sound effects. and most songs have the melody on pulse 2, and I think that's because most of the the sound effects are played mostly on pulse 1, and I'm not sure if there's any overworld sound effects that use pulse 1. They probably all use noise, but just in case, I think all the songs, no, I'm sure all the songs in Gen 2 have the melody on pulse 2 and not on pulse 1, and I think that's the reason why. Anyway, now we have melody on pulse 2, then the melody shifts to our fluty sound here on the wave, and then this bit is the part 3 melody, so that's right on pulse 2, and this little bit goes back to, let's keep it on pulse 2, pulse 1. Alright, so the wave's not doing anything here, so let's grab the bass. See? And now the bass fits perfectly with the wave. That's what we wanted. This bass is gonna be a very simple bass. I'm not even gonna be too crazy with it. And now this part, the accompaniment part 3. Okay, so that little bit at the end for the loop, pulse 1, and this part is also pulse 1. See, oh, sorry. So now the song should look like this. So we have the initial melody, then, oh, okay, I forgot what to put here. It's the staccato strings. I'm gonna have some fun with these strings. These are gonna go on pulse 1. Sorry, no, that's pulse 2, right? Yeah, that's pulse 2. I'm sorry, I am an idiot. Alright, let's move those to pulse 2. And now we have this, right? They fit pretty well. There are no real overlaps. There's a little overlap with this one, which could be a problem because okay, so this, I'm thinking of deleting this last one for the bass and moving these 2 notes, because otherwise we wouldn't hear them. And then the pulse 1 moves on to being again the accompaniment. The pulse 2 remains on melody, and this part needs to go on to pulse 2. And I think that's it, except I'm gonna try something a bit spicy, and this is probably not gonna work, but let's try it anyway. So we have the accompaniments. Where is it? Okay, so this part here, there's an echo here, and the wave channel is not doing anything here. So I'm gonna try and put the echo on the wave channel. This is probably not gonna work, but if it doesn't work, I can just ignore it. And now we pretty much have the song done, or at least arranged or compressed to the Game Boy limitations, right? We have 3 channels. They are gonna switch around the melody and the melody, the accompaniment and the bass are gonna switch around a little bit. That's all we didn't plan. So let's play it just to make sure everything's working. Okay, so the sound font doesn't work here, but I'm gonna. Those staccato strings are easy. I can remember. Actually, I'm thinking. Actually, I'm thinking maybe these parts should be on the wave channel as well. These last parts. That's the piano, but that's not a piano. That's the strings. It kind of feels. I think it kind of feels better in the like in the spirit of the song. I think it's better if that part is in the wave channel. So you have the introduction with the pulses, but that's gonna be kind of annoying to switch around. So this little lead up is gonna have to be in pulse 2. I think that's gonna be fine. It's just a little lead up. Okay, so I'm gonna change the wave instruments because this is strings. They sustain well. Let's hear the full song. So that's the flute. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Because I'm pretty sure that this third part has like a pulse channel playing at the same time as the strings. I'm thinking which string instrument, which wave channel for the Game Boy would sound better, which wavetable would sound better. Let's try the wave channel. If it doesn't work, I can just put it back on the pulse channels. That's fine. It's gonna be spicier this way, but I think it fits the song because the song is kind of slow, and yeah, I think it fits better to have that part on the wave channel and just change the instrument. Let's try it. Why not? Okay. So let me save this file. Oh god. Let me save this file on. I know. Okay, so everything's in order. There are no notes playing at the same time. So everything's in order. So now's the time where we delete everything we don't need. Sorry. I wasn't expecting this to move back. And because we don't have noise, I don't have to worry about the noise channel. The noise channel would be a whole other thing. Okay, let's save this. And now's where the magic happens. So here's my program, MIDI to ASM. People don't know how to work with this program. Like, people are always asking me how it works. So let me go pick the song. And the song's loaded. I should probably change the program to like have a little notes. So now's an important decision, which is the note type. And this is one of those things where this is one of those things where putting music on the Game Boy is kind of annoying to do. So basically, what a note type is, um, just is kind of like a way. I think the way the devs found to create more. Yeah, this is the program I made. I made this program myself, so I know how it works. I know everything. I think I still remember how it works. So basically, what this program does is just it takes a MIDI file and it puts it in the format of the Game Boy, the ASM for Gen 2, right? So note types. What note types do? Basically, so in music you can have. I guess the best way just to show, like here. So in music you can have like music like subdivisions, right? I don't know the names in English, but like this is a quarter note. This is like a half, not a half. This is I think this is an half note. So I know this is a quarter note because pretty much, not gonna say pretty much every song, but like 95% of songs you hear are in 4/4, and what that means is they have each bar of the song is divided into four notes, and each of those notes is worth. Wait, am I doing? Yeah, so each bar is divided into four, and each of those four subdivisions is worth a quarter note. So basically, that's a way to organize how the song works. So pretty much every song follows bars, and each bar like has to follow a certain, what's the word, like a certain rhythm. Like you can't like put notes randomly. Like usually, like if Sash Pai was watching, I'm pretty sure she left, but if she was watching, she could correct me on that. But basically, bars are a way to like, you can imagine them as telling a story of the music, right? So let's see. In the first bar, it goes da 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 da, and then we shift to the next bar, and like each bar is a way to keep momentum of the song, and the way you subdivide songs influences how they feel when you hear them, because the composers compose the songs around the subdivisions. Anyway, that's the subdivisions. So in the Gen 2 engine for music, what happens is you have note commands, and then you have something called the note type. And the note commands go from 1 to 15, sorry, 1 to 16. And the note type also goes from 1 to 15, not 1 to 16. And yeah, 1 to 16. And I think that's a way to work around the limitations of using a byte or 2 bytes to represent, or yeah, 16 would be 1 byte. So yeah, 16 would be 2 bytes. So 16 would be 5 bits, right? Sorry, this is trying to. No, wait, a byte has 16 values. I'm pretty sure about that. Sorry if I'm being an idiot right now, but how many bits in a byte? So you have biggest number. Yeah, with 8 bits you can represent 16 values, right? I'm pretty sure about that. I'm being an idiot right now. Yeah. So each note, so I think this is the note type is a way to work around the limitations. So each note command has 1 byte, and you can go from 0 to 16 values from 0 to 16, or from 1 to 16. And then each note type is also 1 byte, which is from 0 to 16. And basically what the note type is basically kind of like the time signature of the song. Kinda. So how to pick a note type is kind of important, because what basically the note type does is say what's the length of one note. Like, what's the base length of a note. So you can imagine, like, how long as each note plays for is dependent on the product of the note type value times the note command value. So if you have a note that is worth 1 and the note type is worth 12, the note will last for 12 lengths arbitrarily, right? So the time is then dependent on the tempo command, which is another thing entirely. But what happens is when you fix a note type, what that means is you have a narrow range of notes you can play. Or, yeah, so we have a narrow range. You restrict the range of length of the notes you can play. So if you have a note type that's too big, you can play long notes, but then you can't play short notes. And if you have, because the shortest note you can play under a note type that's worth 12 is a note that's length 1, so that's length 12. But if you want to have a note that's length 6, you have to change the note type. Is that making any sense? Probably not. This is very weird. This is how I interpret how the note type command works, but I'm pretty sure that's how it works. So basically what that means for the arrangement part is, if the song has short notes, I want a short note type, and if it has long notes, I want a longer note type. So the default note type is 12, and it works for like 90% of music. And sometimes I need to change the note type to other values, and changes in note type is what usually causes some delays in arrangement, because it takes a while, because I have to manually fix the note types. So looking at this song, I can see, like, around here, like, this note is half the length of a quarter note, which is the shortest note you can represent under note type 12. And then at the end we have these notes. I'm not sure if you can see them very well. They are like, okay, so these are 12 notes as well. So maybe I can use note type 12 and then fix these short notes manually, because then I have pretty long notes here. Like, this note, actually this note is half a bar, so maybe I can represent it with note type 16, note type 6. Okay, let's go with 6 and work around 6. So I'm gonna go with note type 6. So I'm gonna keep the pulses at 0. The waveform I want initially is 3. I'm not gonna use drum kit, so this is not interesting. I'm gonna use Doti cycle 1. We are gonna change this manually, but this is just to fix the initial values, and we don't need bar delays. This is a way to, like, fix, like, some of the syncing problems I had with some songs. This is just to override the time signature I talked about earlier, but probably this song is fine with it. This is just an option to make hexadecimal numbers capitalized, so this is not interesting for us. So let's convert it. It converts kind of immediately. Conversion successful. That's what we wanted to see. And now I have in the same directory where I had the MIDI file, I have the converted song. And let me open the file. So this is what it looks like. the converted version, and now we need to put it in the game and see how it sounds. So you can see there's a lot. There are a few of these notes. All right. Let me go to the bathroom real quick, and I'll put in the song in the game right away. Let me just put this up. All right, be right back. All right, I'm back. Okay, let's put this song in the game. So it's gonna sound like crap, but let's fix things. All right, so this is my workspace for music. This is very old. This is like 6 years old at this point, so I don't recommend anyone doing this. So this is just modified Pokemon Crystal ROM. This is actually a vault version of what's it called? Red Plus Plus, I think. And the reason I used this initially was because it had a lot of other arrangements from other people, and slowly I've been replacing them, and now I'm like in the limit of the file. I'm like in the I have 255 songs, so I can't add any more here. So I've been transitioning this to a new repository that basically produces a GBS file, and that's why I can record the songs in the with the what's the program called? That visualizer, the GB visualizer I use now for the songs. All right, so actually I'm not sure if I have this. Yeah, I have this placeholder song saved, so that's fine. So the placeholder is just the song I use. Yeah. Speaking of music, let me put something on while I'm working on this. Okay. Because I'm not gonna play the song right now because it's gonna sound like crap. Actually, I can play it so you can hear how it's gonna play. Okay, so anatomy of Gen 2 ASM file. So this header just tells the game this is the header for the song. This is the header for each of the channels. So channel 1, channel 2, channel 3. I deleted channel 4 because channel 4 doesn't exist in Verdanturf Town. So Verdanturf Town, easy peasy. Alright. So then each channel is just a big... each channel is just a big... the big list of notes you can see. And like in my program, I added the bar so I can easily navigate each of the channels, so you can see then channel 2 starts, and finally at the end we have channel 3 here, right? Alright, so volume just sets the volume. This is kinda useless, kinda redundant. It sets the global volume, so don't change this, it's not worth it. Unless you are like doing some pretty advanced stuff with like changing the volume to make the song sound quieter for some reason, but yeah, that's not really too important. The duty cycle basically chooses the duty cycle for each of the pulse channels. So there are 4 duty cycles, but really only 3. The duty cycles are 0, which is 12.5%, 1 is 25%, 2 is 50%, and 3 is 75%, which sounds the same as 25%, so you don't need to use duty cycle 3. This only works on channel 1 and channel 2, because channel 3 is the wave channel, and you pick the instruments in a different way. So here you can see the famous duty cycle, the famous note type. The note type part is the 6 I chose in the program, and this part is one of the most important parts of the Gen 2 composition, which is the intensity, or what's called intensity in this old version of the program. The new version calls it volume envelope, which is a better name, but it's more difficult to write. Basically, volume envelope is precisely what it sounds like. It's just a way to control the fade out or fade in of the pulse channels and the wave channel as well, kind of. So the A here, so this symbol here, the $sign in assembly means this is an hexadecimal number, and the A part, the first symbol, which since it's hexadecimal goes from 0 to F, represents the volume, and the second part represents the fade out or fade in. So the volume goes from 0 to 16, which is the F. I usually, the default is I put it on A, just because it's kind of like a middle of the road loud sound, and the fade in or fade out depends on the number. So if the number is between 1 and 7, it is a fade out. If it's a 0 or an 8, it's a constant note, so it doesn't fade out or fade in. And if it's above 8, so 9, 10, 11 until the 16, which is the F, it's a fade in, so it increases in intensity, the notes. And this is an hardware function, which sounds better than doing it manually. If you do notes manually, it sounds kind of terrible. And as you can see, the program automatically, the program, the MIDI to the ASM, automatically picks intensities, so the volume, for dependent on the volume of the MIDI notes. And you can see here, like the volume of the MIDI notes is these bars down here. And usually what I do to save space, and this is something I don't need to do, but I like to do, I like to save space where I can. And one of the ways to save space is to like eliminate as much or as many of these commands as you can and make loops. This song doesn't really have too many loops, unfortunately, so we are not gonna... Maybe some of the bass lines have loops, but like these parts here don't really... Okay, this part is a loop, but we'll get to loops later. Let's put the music working first. Alright, so like there's a little fade in. So these notes increase in intensity, and these long notes, which is not here, of course, because this is pulse 1. So this is pulse 2. Okay, so you can see this is the 12. Ignore the warnings for now. The warnings are not really that dangerous. So you can see how the program translated the sound. So A note, D, E, F sharp, A, D, E, F sharp, right? So it picks, the program automatically converts the notes from the MIDI file to the notes in the ASM, right? This length, as you can see, it's the length of the note. So this note is worth 12 under a note type of 6. If I change the note type, if I like double the note type, the note is gonna sound half as long, right? Or sorry, it's gonna sound double. So if I change the note type to 12, the 12 notes in a note, so that's equivalent to note type. So a 12 note in note type 6 is equivalent to a 6 note in a note type 12 because of the whole multiplication thing, right? Alright, so as you can see, these intensities are not really changing that much. Okay, there's a little change here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna compile, because this is gonna compile and it's gonna sound terrible. And after we compile the ROM, we can check how the song sounds and start making changes. So, how to compile? There are instructions on the Pocket Crystal disassembly. I use Ciguin because it's the only thing that works and can compile this ROM. And ignore everything here. I just need to put make, and it takes a little bit of time to compile, and it works because the files produced by the program automatically work most of the time. I forgot to talk about the tempo. The tempo is just the tempo of the song. There's a formula to convert the tempo of the MIDI tempo or beats per minute to the tempo of the Pocket Crystal engine. Something important is that the longer the tempo, the slower the song. When beats per minute, it's the inverse. So the higher beats per minute, the faster the song. Alright? So let's listen to it. Let's see how it sounds. It's probably gonna sound like crap. Here I have my ROM compiled. As you can see, Red++. And the reason I picked this ROM is because of the music player. Let me switch the... You can hear it a little bit better. And the song is on placeholder, so let's listen to the raw, converted, untouched... Let me finish the... Oh. You can't actually stop songs in this music player. Let's listen to the... I keep forgetting the keys for each thing. Okay, let's just listen to it. Let's just listen to it. Okay, that's not terrible. Okay, so as you can see, this is terrible. This sounds... It doesn't sound as bad as I expected, but it sounds kind of terrible. So why does it sound terrible? Okay, there's a lot going on here, but let's fix probably the biggest problem, which is the wave channel. So what's happening is that our dear friend wave channel decided to have intensities when it shouldn't alter the volume. These things. And the wave channel has this problem where you can only... let me put on the music again. The wave channel has this problem. Sorry. the wave channel has this problem where the volume it can only you only have 3 volume settings, which are loud, quiet, and very quiet, basically. Unlike the pulse channels where you have 15 or 16 sound levels, the wave channel only has 3, and you don't have fade in or fade out. So the wave channel is very limited, right? So the first thing we need to fix on the wave channel is the loudness. So as you can see, the program works very well, but it doesn't really do everything. So I'm gonna fix the intensity on the wave channel. So that's very easy to do. So the wave channel, the way to pick the wavetable and the way to pick the volume. So the sound or the instrument you pick on channels 1 and 2 is the duty cycle. On the wave channel is the intensity. For some reason they combined. For the wave channel, the intensity command works differently. So this first bit or nibble, I think it's this first byte, it's a byte. This first byte here represents the instrument, and the instrument is from this table here. Ignore the other tables for now. This table is exactly the same as in Vanilla Crystal until here. These are the names I gave them. And I have an Excel here with ignore the big Excel. So these are the indexes, and these are the defaults. Gen 3. Let's okay. So yeah, this 9 or 10 waves are exactly the same as in Vanilla Crystal. I didn't change them in any way. And since this is a Gen 3 remix, I'm gonna Gen 2 remix. I'm gonna stick to these waves. Alright, so this byte here represents the wave, so the index of the wave between 0 and 15, but we are gonna stick to 0 to 9. And this represents the intensity. So 3 is the loudest intensity. Sorry, I'm doing this backwards. It's been a while. It's the opposite. So the second byte is the instrument, the first byte is the intensity. So 1 is the max intensity, 2 is the medium intensity, 3 is the quiet intensity. And the 3 here represents the wave sample, which in this case it's the Twin Peaks, which is these ones here. Since this is gonna be the echo, I'm gonna try the volcano. So I'm gonna change this to 4, and I'm gonna put a 3 here, and keep this on until the end of the echo section for the wave channel, which is in bar number 4. So let's delete every intensity, we don't need them. We don't need them for anything, let's delete the warnings. We don't need anything right like this. Okay, so now we have here 0 note. So 0 note happens when there's a note too short for the note type I'm currently using. So these notes are 3 notes. Are note type 3, not note type 6. Alright, so we have an F, an E, and then we have a quick lead up, which is a D and then an F, right? D and an E, sorry. So I'm gonna change the note type here. Still keeping the... And we can combine the note type, and we can like change the intensity to note type and they work the same. Actually, that's a 2, not a 1. So I actually don't need to do that. Never mind. We don't actually need to do anything here. We just need to make this note a 1 and this note a 1. That should work. And here, this D sharp is where the note type changes. So this is also useless. So now I'm gonna change to note type 1-3, which is like the fluty sound. And since the note type, like, it changes a little bit, but I don't want it. So until measure 9, I want to stay at this intensity, this instrument. So let's delete everything. Until this okay, that's another 0 note there. Let's steal 1 from here. Okay, so this note, this E, continues for a while, and actually that's that. Why is there a 2 there? That actually should continue. Well, I'm glad I caught that. So now, for this part, the like strings, let's try the 6. The problem with the Gen 2 waves is that we have these waves which sound like flutes. We have these waves that are really harsh, and like the one middle of the road is the wave 6, which is the mountain and city. So let's try wave 6 for these last parts. That's another one. Okay, so another problem is that the song doesn't loop yet, but let's do the loops later. Okay, so the wave channel is mostly probably done. I just probably need to adjust the intensities a little bit. So let's focus on pulse 1. So as you can see, pulse 1 has a lot of minor sound variations, and like my program sometimes gets these right, but sometimes it doesn't, and I'm just gonna keep this at like an 8. Actually, I should probably do this in a smarter way. So pulse 1 is always like the bass or the... Yeah, so all this sounds pretty much the same. There's a little lead up here on measure 4 or bar 4. Starting like this on the B. We can probably increase the intensity a little bit, not that anyone would notice. This is pretty loud. This actually rises a fair bit at the end. And then this is the bass. And this is an A, clearly. This is an A, intensity A, or 10. Which lasts for until measure 9. So this is kind of like the boring part of the process, which is fix everything. Which is pretty much where my work comes in. Yeah, let's skip those two. And then we have this part, which is a B. And then... Okay, so there are a few of those notes that... Those didn't convert well. For some reason. I'm not sure why. Okay, this is like the changes. All right. So let's leave these things, these two things for the end, because those things are gonna be annoying to deal with. And now let's see how Pulse 2 is doing. So I can use that lead up. Oh god. 9 A B, that's a good lead up, and then we stay at A. Oh yeah, so you don't need if you are questioning why I'm deleting the intensities, is just you don't need to put an intensity before each note. You just need the command once, and then every note after that keeps that quality until a new command overwrites it. So when I put intensity A7, every song after this is gonna be an intensity A7. Actually, I said I wasn't gonna fix this, but let's at least make them a little better on the ears. All right. So you don't need. We know how these pairs work now. I think we can keep the until the staccato. This is the staccato strings starting in measure 5. Okay, actually we have a couple. Yeah. So this starts the like staccato strings. Right? And what I'm gonna do here is change the duty cycle to have I just deleted accidentally? That's an F sharp. Okay, I'm still on bar 5. Why is there a note here that goes to a 5? That's weird. Why did it pick a 5? Well, never mind. Okay, so now we have the staccato stuff on measure 5. Starts here, right? Not right. Oh, wait a second. Oh. So that does G to C sharp. Oh, there we go. Here. Yeah, so let's unify this. So now the intensity changes are actually useful because we can just keep them because they are in the right places. So actually I should have run this without the intensities just to save me some time. I'm doing 8-4, right? Okay, so starting in bar 9 is when we go to the bass line. I'm thinking I should probably put the bass line on pulse 1 and on pulse 2. So maybe I should do a transplant here. Yeah, that makes more sense, right? Why is this part in pulse 1? I don't need anything on pulse 1. Let's transplant that. So a transplant is just... On the pulses, it's really easy to do. You just copy. Except I want to keep those first 3 notes. Which in this case is this. So let's copy that. Put it here. And shop. There we go. And that should work. So let's look at this bass line for... So we can save on this octave command. I think the octave command is pretty self-explanatory, it just sets the octave. Sorry, I want to change the color of my keyboard. It's kind of annoying how it's doesn't have the right colors. Alright, so the bass line should be kept at like an A, otherwise it becomes too loud. So let's delete all these intensities here. Meanwhile, on our new bit here, we don't even need this octave, it just flows from one to the next. Which is the old pulse 1. I think we can keep, yeah, that's a constant B, we don't even need to change anything. Just these 2, which we already have changed. Alright, so what I wanted to fix in terms of notes is done, but now let's do the loop, the loop-de-loop. So the loop stuff isn't always easy to do because the loops usually are like a little bit strange. So the loop is from here, and obviously it starts in this note, right? And these notes. Alright, so on pulse 1, the way you do loops... so pulse 1 needs... so the loops are kind of weird. Because right now pulse 1 ends here. So it's not synced correctly with the others. So if I put the loop here, I'm gonna be missing some silence. And that silence is worth, at least from my calculation, is worth a 4. And we have a 6 at the start. So to save some space... Oh yeah, 4 in note type 12, so we have an 8 in note type 6, so I need a 2 note at the end. Here. And now we do the loop like this. We do loop channel 0, and we put what channel we are looping, which is the music channel 1. For channel 2, the loop starts, since it does this little thingy, which is actually not the same. It's not the same as the start. Right? It's a little bit different. But it does. Right? It doesn't repeat that part. So the loop doesn't start at the start. We have to put a new loop point, which I usually just call like this. And we do the same thing at the end. We just go here and do loop channel 0. And for channel 3, which is the wave channel ends in the same way as the pulse 2. And it has the same, actually it has 4. So to make it sync correctly, I need a 4 at the end. And one way you can make sure the loops are working is to sum how many notes are in the ends and see if they sync correct, if they match. How many... Actually, this bar 17, as you can see, it's like an extra bar for channel 1. Ooh, never mind, I'm being an idiot. Wait. I'm being an idiot. I'm being an idiot. Wait, because I changed these two. Okay, now I'm confused. Let me think for a little bit. So pulse 1 ends here. It needs... I need to change the colors here, otherwise I'm gonna be confused. Looping the songs is always a problem. So this is how the song looks right now, and this is kind of a bit of an issue because of this little thingy. So on pulse 1, pulse 2 is not the one that's short by 2 to match. So it's actually short by not 2 but 4. And it loops here. And pulse 1 pulse 1 loops not from the start but from here. So after the 6. Am I thinking right? So maybe just need a 2 and a... I think this is it. I keep getting confused, gods. Now this is right. Channel 1 is the is right like this. So channel 1 is gonna be our constant. All right. So for channel 2, we start at that point, but now we end. We have a 2 note at the end. We have a little bit at the end, which is those 2 notes, which are each worth 2, so that's a 4. And channel 3 has 8 at the end, and then it loops here, so it ignores that first note. And I said we had an 8 at the end, right? Like this. I think that's gonna loop. let's see. Let's see. How long have I been streaming? 2 hours. Let's stop that. Let's see how this sounds now. If everything's working correctly, it should loop and it should sound significantly better than before. These staccato strings are terrible. And there are... Okay. We have a critical issue. We have a critical issue on channel 1. What happened here? What happened here? Ooh, okay. How did that happen? Alright, and we have a critical issue on channel 2 as well. The staccato strings are not working. Alright, so staccato starts at measure 5. I forgot to put the duty cycle change. That was silly of me. And then at channel 9 we go back to duty cycle 1. And some of those notes are not sounding right. They should be in pairs. Not all of them are in pairs, but they should be like in pairs. And some of those are sounding way longer than they are supposed to. Let's listen to the end. Okay, so my looping is not working. Oh dear. Oh god. It's been a while. I'm getting kind of not tired. I'm kind of rusty. Okay, let's see. Why are those staccato strings sounding? Do I double up? Do I just double them up and like make an original like thingy? Dun, dun, dun. And like this F, it's not an F2 and the pause is actually an F4. So I'm gonna put a little note here saying so all of these notes, like this A here, this is not an A. What? Where? Yeah, these echoes are not working at all. Something is broken here. Okay, this is where having 2 monitors helps. So I'm gonna ignore chat for a little bit while I'm looking at the other monitor. Yeah, like my setup is completely weird. I have the projector still mounted, but I'm using my portable monitor for the OBS, to have OBS on. And now I moved the MIDI editor there just so I can look at each note and fix them manually, because clearly they are not working properly. Like something went wrong here. I think that's the only one. Like they should have. They only last. I'm gonna put these 4 notes here on with these little notes. It's an A, then a D, A. There's a C sharp here. That's a 4. So like, as you can see, most of these arranging is just me fixing the program that doesn't work properly. And trust me, the program does a lot of heavy lifting already. But there are still these little issues. Okay, so this clearly is a 2. Okay, this is a 2, this is a 4. This is a 4, that's not marked properly. BB, BF, this is an actual F4. 2. No, this is not an F4. This is an echo. That's gonna lead to some problems. Then we have an E, which is this one. Then B, B, E, E2, that's right. Okay, this is also right. G, G, G. Okay, that's all right. And since these are staccato strings, I'm gonna change them. I usually have like a little, like a file. I don't want to open a file, I want a new file. I think I do have a temp file somewhere here. Yeah, I do. Like, I usually have these temp files. Okay, let me put on music. You are gonna be here for a while. Probably too loud. I'm gonna be here for a while. Okay, what I wanted to do is lower the... To make it a little more staccato, I'm gonna replace the fade out. Like that, and that's gonna make the notes a little bit more like staccato-y. Okay, what else? Now the loops, right? Ugh, why aren't the loops working? Okay, let's figure this one out. It shouldn't be too hard. So I'm pretty sure the loops are all in the right place. There are no note type changes. So why isn't this working? Okay. I think this is one of the problems. This should be an 8. Wait, no. This should be a 4. Yeah, this should be right. It ends in a G, and then there are 2 1 notes, so this should be a 4. Something's afoot. Okay, so this should sum up to 32. Let me grab on Excel and make that. I do this quite often. No, that's not it. Okay, so that's 4, 6, 2, 4, 16, 4. That's not right. Okay, that's 38. Okay, why is that 38? There's actually a 2 missing in there. So that's actually 40. That's way more than it should be. How did that happen? That 2 extra comes from here. Let me show. Like this note spills over to measure 16. And that's worth 2, so that should be sorry, that should be like that's worth 4, that's worth 6, 2. Then there's a pause worth 4, and then the next note is a 20. I think that's too long. Oh, I know what happens. I know what happens. That's definitely not... Okay, so we can roughly estimate. So a 2 note is worth 6, so a 36 notes should be worth 12. So this is way too long. This should be 12. And now we just need a 2 at the end. So this G4 here is not right. I don't know how that happens. We just need a 2 here to make the 32, and then we need the 6 at the end to make these 3 notes. Okay, so the wave channel should be fine. Let's check the pulse channel, the pulse 2. Oh boy. That's actually pretty easy. We just need... just needs 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 16, 17. I'm not liking that. Yeah, I probably miscounted. 3, 6, 9, 12, 16. Alright, so that's correct. Then we have an extra and have the 4. I think that should work. The loop, I mean. Let's check it again. So yeah, that's basically how I do music. It's kind of a slow process. Okay, so we have some notes on the flute parts here that don't last as long as they should, which is kind of annoying, so let's fix that. I'm pretty sure that Yeah, these notes are all contiguous, except this one in. So this is contiguous. This should be contiguous. This E should be contiguous as well. This D12. Okay, that's missing something. How is that a 10? Wait a second. Okay, so we know 54 divided by 3 is 18. So that should last for 18 measures. So this is a bit of a problem. We are gonna need to change a note type here, but that's not really too much of a problem. So we stole, how much did we steal? So we stole, we need 8. We need 8, so a 6, so this is a 4, and now we can change note type just for these notes. And now we have a 9 here. That should work. But nothing like testing out the song. So I'm on the lookout for. Okay, that should probably work. Okay, let's keep hearing. You can hear the interference. Okay. I paused it here just because why doesn't this loop in? Oh, I know what's happening. I'm an idiot. I forgot to put the loop there. But either way, I forgot to put the loop there. See, this is why I take so long to make songs. Okay, so that's why that's like that. But now it doesn't make sense to have an echo. Like for... oh, and I forgot to change... Okay, good thing I stopped, because I need to change the intensity here. Like, this is something that happens because the game reads the instructions in sequence. What happens is if you have, for example, the song starts at note type, at intensity 34, but then it reaches the end at intensity 16. And when it loops, it keeps the 16 because it just jumps here and doesn't jump here. So it doesn't know. I have to tell it kind of redundantly, but I have to tell it to loop and I need to give it a new command. I can give it at the start or at the end, but I need to give it a new command so it knows to read, to play the effect properly. You can actually use this kind of spillover of the effects to your advantage. I did that in the Viridian Forests night theme, where the loop then maintains the same intensity on the wave, and it sounds slightly different than the start. I can go to YouTube and show it. I'm pretty sure I did that. So, but either way, it doesn't make sense to have an echo on the wave channel for a note, for notes that don't play. So there are these two extra notes are gonna get hidden here, and now to make it loop, I need to put a 10 there. So let me show the let me show the what I'm talking about. So I'm gonna go to my channel. I'm gonna search for the route 2. Should be able to hear it. Okay, so pay attention to what the wave channel has at the start. There. It has the index 6. And now when we skip, I'm pretty sure I did this, but now it would be kind of embarrassing if I didn't. Okay, let's see what happens when it loops. Okay, so that little part is actually the same. So I was wrong. No. See? This little part on the first loop is using the index 4. And on the second loop is using index 6. I kept... So the loop point is before this part. So the loop point is here. The loop point is here, right? But I reused these notes, but kept the same... I changed the instrument compared to the first loop around. It actually changes on the first loop, it's index 4. But on the second loop, it changes to the other index. So that's a way to like use the kind of spillover, effects to your advantage if you want to make like effects. But usually you want to avoid that. Okay, I don't think I'm gonna finish. Okay, that's really loud. You can definitely hear the sounds. Come on, I did it properly. Hey, come on, why didn't this compile? Don't tell me it's not compiling properly. Oh dear. Oh, did I just... Okay, let's try out the stereo stuff. Okay, so stereo is the stereo panning command. Actually, now we have a bit of an issue because the beginning of the song can't be in stereo. Oh dear. It would be kind of strange to have the echo in the other here. Let's try it. Why not? We are trying out stuff. So the staccato goes to the right here, and we stay in the right here. And now on the wave channel, we do this. and this. So the F0 corresponds to the left ear. The F only is the right ear, and FF is both ears. So when we get to part 2, we want to put the wave channel on the left here. Okay, let's see if that works. Oh, that actually works. I'm surprised. We need to lower the bass a little bit. Octave didn't. Okay, that's starting to sound kinda okay, right? So that bass line is way too strong. And those staccato strings need to be a little bit stronger. They are kind of weak. Now that we have done the stereo, they are sounding kind of weak. I'm not sure if I can finish this today, but we are doing good time. I'm gonna try a B. I'm gonna try an A first. I'm gonna raise both by 2. And actually the strings aren't sounding very staccato-y. So maybe the 64. Let's change that to 63. Maybe that will change something. When in doubt, I can just isolate each channel and then see how they are sounding. Let's see how that works. If I had Biggie B is not working. Biggie B is the oh god, what have I done? That's a 4. Actually, remember when I said earlier that the volume isn't very useful? Actually, I think it's gonna be useful here. Because I think the volume is just a little bit too loud on the... Okay, let me... Okay, so I think the volume is a bit too loud on the wave channel. And since I can't adjust the wave channel, if I lower the overall volume just on the left here, a little bit, and increase the bass line a little bit for this section, now maybe this will sound decent. Starting on bar 9. I'm gonna raise it a little bit because the bass is on both sides. Let's see if that works. I don't think the bass line is a little too loud here. Let's see. Still think the bass is a little bit too strong. I'm not really liking how this is sounding. Our parts. I'm thinking of, but the problem is I haven't mentioned this before, but the person who commissioned me wanted a night version as well, and so I'm not changing the duty cycle here. I'm thinking if I should change it to 2, but then if I change it to 2, it's gonna, the rest of the song is gonna be kind of difficult to convert to a night version. Okay, so I think the last 2 things we need to do is to first we need to solve this mess, and I think this version of the song, I think it's broken, this part, so I'm gonna have to bring... Yeah, it's broken. It's broken. Oh dear. Let's open the original. Original, unlabeled, all that. Let's try and figure out how these things work. This part works. Oh, not like that. Okay, that's pretty complex. So what I'm gonna do is bring out our good friend Audacity, and I'm just gonna record this, and I'm just gonna record it. Yeah, I want. And then analyze the recording and see how it sounds. Okay, let's see. Actually, that didn't help me as much as I thought it would. Why isn't this recording in stereo? Because I'm an idiot and I didn't put the stereo in. Okay, let's try that again. All right, perfect. So let's show Audacity, and now we can see how that's structured, right? Check that out. Check that out. So we can adjust the stereo based on the Audacity recording. That's that part, and that's the transition. That's the first few notes, and I think that's and that's the last notes. That's the transition. All right, so we just need to go here and check. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So we should have 12 here. And obviously we don't. Because something went wrong. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And we have 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We have 10. So there are 2 missing. Oh, there they are. There they are. I'm an idiot. I'm sorry. There they are. They are in the other bar, obviously. So that's actually 13. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So I'm just gonna assume. So don't forget we are working with stereo. The bass stereo is the right here. So I'm just gonna assume there's an extra note at the start that I didn't capture with Audacity. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And I have 13 notes here. For whatever reason. I'm just going to assume there's an extra note at the start. All right, so the first note is in both ears. The second 2 notes are in the right here. So let's put an F there. Then the next 2 are in our left. Then we go back to the right. Then we go back to the left. Actually, I'm doing this wrong. I should be having a buffer there. So it's actually like that. So these are right, left, right, left. Then we have 2 right ones, and then we finish off in left, like that. And okay, so in terms of intensity, we are on B. I think B is a bit strong here, maybe. So we change intensity on this too. So we are on B. Let's change it to 9. Then here we'll change it to 7. Then for these 2 we change it to a 5. This is just me going completely by feeling. 7, and we go back to a 9 for the last one. So this is for the B's, for the D's, and I think the B follows the same pattern. Yeah, the B follows the same exact pattern, and if they are the G's, sorry, they are shorter, but they have the same pattern. I think they don't have the rising pattern, so I'm just gonna copy this. So if you do groups of 2, they have I want 2, 4, 5. They have 5 and an extra. Okay, I'm just gonna copy this, and I could technically, I might do it. Actually, it's not very. I was thinking about doing a pitch shift here, but I think that's kinda silly. Actually, I just realized that should be a 2. Wait a second. Let me make sure I'm not deleting stuff. Okay, this is on bar 17, right? Yeah. Okay, this should be a 2 because these are very short notes. I was thinking I could do like to try and save some space. I could do a pitch offset, also better known as a transposition, but I think that's going a bit too far. Now let's do something fun, which is vibrato. Let's do some vibrato, some very light vibrato. For a flute, I think that should probably work. Let's do some very light vibrato on. So the vibrato works. The first part is the delay, so that's how much time is spent until the vibrato starts. So I don't know how much that is worth actually, but like a smaller number means a delay. And then the vibrato, the first byte is the vibrato intensity, and the second byte is the vibrato frequency. So the higher the number, the longer the frequency of the vibrato, and the higher is the first byte, the more intense the vibrato is. So that's a bit different. We don't need vibrato on the channel 1 because it's the bass, so that's worthless. You can probably hear it. I'm not really hungry yet, but I should go have dinner. Okay, you can definitely hear the vibrato. That's too aggressive. That's too aggressive, both vibratos. I don't think we even need vibrato in this song, to be honest. It's still not translating the intensity properly. It should be a C, right? I don't think we need vibrato on channel 2, to be honest. I think we just need a little touch of a vibrato on part 2, And then when it changes instrument, I think maybe I'm being a bit too aggressive with the vibrato. Vibrato kinda can sound good, but sometimes it's just too aggressive. Some vanilla songs have quite a lot of vibrato. I really hope the chat is working, because the chat has been pretty quiet and sometimes it breaks, and if I'm ignoring people, that's why. I'm pretty sure it's not. No, it's not it's not broken. I think this is sounding pretty okay. I don't think it's quite there yet. Oh, let me show. I don't like Duty Cycle 2 there. I don't like Duty Cycle there. Duty Cycle 1 there. I think... How's that sounding? How... No. I have... Sorry, I have chat... I had chat covered for like a little bit. No, I'm checking chat. I do have it on my second monitor. I am checking chat. How's that sounding? How's your opinion on it? Is this sounding good? Or am I that rusty that this is terrible? And I think it's sounding pretty okay. I'm not sure about the wave there. I might change that. Let's try 5. Yeah, right? Okay, so that's also not looping correctly. So the loop is not working properly on the channel 1, but I fixed it since. This is completely unnecessary. And I'm gonna put it on... yeah, like... as you can see, my work is not only making the program, but also fixing, like most of the work is fixing the output of, oh dear, fixing the output of the program and then starting to add the effects and all that stuff. Oh, I forgot to change the 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 initial. There it is. I wanted to test the 5. The 5 is a bit more aggressive than the 4, but I kind of want to test it because the 5 is the closest wave to the. The 5 is the closest wave to the pulse. Let's try it. If it's too aggressive, we can get rid of it. We can change back to it. That's not working. That's not what I wanted to do. How's the... Yeah, that's too aggressive. I think that works. The 1-4 works here. The 1-6... I think that works. The 1-4 works. Works for the first part. Now's like the time where I'm just slowly. Sorry, now's the time where you're gonna hear the song in repeat for like a good while. That's too aggressive. I still think the I don't like that the that sounds weird out of context. I'm gonna do a technique that's kind of like sustaining a note for a little while before letting it fade out. And what I do is usually lower it for one step. So this was a B. This was a B. Oh god. Yeah, this was an A. I changed to B. So this note, I'm gonna do it an A, and I'm gonna sustain it for like 6, and 6 to 14 is 8. I'm gonna sustain this note in particular. I might sustain this two. Yeah, I'm gonna sustain these two others. So this is 12. I need to be careful. This was an F sharp, right? I want this to be a B. Kind of like useless, but yeah, sure. Let's try the C. Just to be spicy. I need to remember to change it back to what it was. Like that. In this case it does. So this is an E. This is just so the notes don't like lose. Okay, I want this to be an A, and back to the B. And this is a C sharp. I'm getting kind of hungry, so I might stop. I think the song is pretty much done. All that's left to do is the night version, but the night version is super easy. The night version, I can put it working and adjust it from there. Actually, it's not... I still have to compress the song. I think that's a bit too aggressive. I think these 6s are a bit too aggressive. Sorry if I'm changing things without saying anything, but like I'm making micro decisions about those. This is like where I spend most of the time. It's like these micro decisions about where to change the song to sound a bit better. And yeah, that's much better. Okay, that D still like losing steam so much. Oh my god. I'm just gonna do that. I do want to put the. This is like the last thing I'm gonna change, and I'm gonna make the night versions just to show. Okay, I messed up the timing somewhere with these notes. Maybe. Okay. Maybe it wasn't this one. This was a 14. Messed up the timing. See, if I change one note, this all collapses. Like the thing that really differentiates this program from the older program that existed, like the program I made, is the way I managed to force the songs to sync. It used to be a nightmare. Ah, that's much better. That note finally sounds well. How about I do something a little bit spicy? How about I add echo to those last notes? We are getting there. These 4 notes. How about I add an echo? The wave channel is free. There, see? I can add an echo there. I can try to add an echo there. Huh. How about I do that? That could be pretty fun. That's not in the original song. But like, I think that little lead up, these 4 notes are kinda empty right now. Let's try that. So that's on octave 4. So for the wave channel, it's on octave 5. And the echo, the wave channel is delayed by 4. All right. So if it's delayed by 4, if it's delayed by 4, and each note is a 2. So I play, and it's a 10 there, and it starts on the long note. So if it's a 10, I'm thinking how the delay should work. See, that's a 4. So I'm still having those 2. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And then that's 8, and I just add a 2 there. Will that work? And I need to change the intensity to... That feels like a delay, an improper delay. Because that's what happens here, right? Yeah. Let's try that. I mean, if it doesn't work, if it sounds weird, we can just ignore it, and I could technically have the delay on the... Oh yeah, I couldn't. Makes sense to be in the... Yeah, that works. I'm not liking how I've been kind of ignoring the bass line a little bit there, but I think that last note should be a little bit longer. This E, yeah, this E is way too short there. Yeah, that's not a 5. I've been kind of neglecting the bass line, but yeah, that's wrong. That's completely wrong. Yeah, that should be connected. That should be a 11. I've been kind of neglecting the bass line, but sometimes the bass line not sounding properly kinda breaks the rest of the song. So it's kind of important to also pay attention to the bass line. It's kind of in the background, but if it doesn't sound well, like here, for example, let me actually open the version that's adjusted. I'm not liking this. I'm not liking this. Let's see. 13. Ugh. B2, GF3, G7, 5. That's a 4. That's a B. Oh, that's 12, not 13. Never mind. Either way, that G is lasting way too long. That should be a 4. That should be 8. That's another one. Sometimes the program just randomly decides to do this stuff. I don't know why. Okay, let's do the night version. Okay, so the night version is pretty easy to do. Actually, no, the night version in this song will be kind of annoying to do because I changed duty cycles, so I need to do this in another way. I'll do the night song. I'll do the night version some other day. I need to kind of start closing off the stream. Let me just compile one last time. Let's hear it one last time, and let me record it on BGB because BGB is better for recording. And I'll send it on. Yeah, BGB has the controllers inverted from the other. Okay, that's mono. I like this. I actually think that sounds pretty decent. Ugh. Okay. BGB is better in some aspects, but I can't seem to... Let's Verdanturf version 1. And let's record that. I actually think that sounds pretty good. For something done kind of quickly. I think I need to fix the channel 2. There are some mistakes there, this part, but overall I think it's sounding pretty good. Yeah, I think this is pretty decent. I'm not sure how much I'm gonna change. I might fix like a few mistakes I made. But this might be pretty close to the final version. Just letting it play. Yeah, I think that's pretty good. I'm quite satisfied with that. Anyway, I think this was pretty fun, arranging on the fly. I might do, after finishing this song, I might do more of these live streams if that's interesting. I might do more arranging streams. I'm hesitant to do. I'm thinking between the Ace Attorney Investigation song to celebrate the release of the collection, or the Septenary game. Septenary game is gonna be a big problem, because Septenary game has a lot. I can show you actually. This will be relatively quickly. Let me show you the MIDI for Septenary game. It's kind of a mess. It's not a mess. It's just it's not really well organized. Where do I have this? Okay. Septenary game, and let me change the MIDI mixer because I need to. Okay, so this is gonna sound pretty much exactly like the DS version. But this is so cool. This is playing on the MIDI editor, right? But it sounds exactly like the DS version, the recorded version. I'm not gonna play the entire song because the song is pretty long. But there's a lot going on here. And there's a lot going on here, and my problem is right now is this track, because I think it's possible. I want to give it a try. The problem is this, as you can, I'm not sure you can hear it, but these are chords. These are not the right notes. These are chords. And I'll have to adapt the chords. The bus, the bus is pretty cool. This bus, I think I can do a wave channel with this. But then there's also like a little part at the end. The percussion is also quite tricky. I can put the percussion. The percussion has like weird sounds, as you can hear. And it starts getting funkier. It starts like bringing like the bongos or whatever the hell this is. And then there's like this sound effect here. And that's... I'm not sure I can do anything. I can try doing something funky with the noise channel there. But the Septenary game has an advantage because it's very repetitive, and that's pretty good for me. And then at the end, so these drums are terrible. And then at the end, there's this part which doesn't follow, like the first harmony part. It doesn't follow the notes. It's like the notes are like hard-coded notes for the sound font. So it sounds like this part. This part. You can see it doesn't follow the notes that are there. So I'd have to do this manually. See, each note is like two notes. It's not one note. So I'd have to manually figure out which note is which and then adapt it. This will be, but like as you can see, this is like very repetitive. I'll have to do this like once. And like you can get a pretty good approximation of the song if you remove like some things. Like you don't really need this. You don't really need the bass echo. You don't really need the droning bass. You don't really need this weird harmony there. It will be kind of bare bones, but you can kind of get something decent like this. You lose kind of something, right? There's something missing. You can kinda get it. Like it still sounds pretty decent, and that's four channels. With some adjustments, I think it's possible, but I'm not sure. These chords, obviously, I'd have to adapt. Like if I could get the oh god, the PC Engine TurboGrafx working, that would be perfect. This would be really easy there. But unfortunately, the TurboGrafx is terrible to work with it. I want to get like a way to use Furnace, the Furnace tracker, and convert it to MML, because this is technically MML. And the other program I showed before, the GBMC, also works as MML. I can show you really quickly before I go. And that's where I do all the known Pokemon music. So for example, the Battle Stars, the Super, this program, that's the code for it. This is even terrible. It's not color coded. It is kind of annoying. Let me lower this a little bit. It's not color coded. In my old PC, I had all this color coded, but this is basically MML. This is exactly the same thing as the Pocket Crystal engine. It's just more compressed. And I know this looks terrible without the colors, but yeah. If I could find a way to convert the furnace tracker to this format, that would be kind of like perfect. I have to like ask around the furnace tracker Discord or something. This song is so addictive. Actually, a little inside baseball, or whatever the expression is. I'm actually using this song for the NASCAR battle in the Solrock and Lunatown video, just to confuse people. What icons? Let me open. What icons are you talking about? The ones above the tabs. Oh, I have no idea. I probably just installed Notepad++, and it automatically updated to this. I haven't even noticed it before. I'm not even sure what this is. If I have to like copy or do the colors again, because I can't read this. This is kind of difficult to read like this. But yeah. Anyway, I have to go have dinner. This was a very quick showcase of my process. As you can see, it's kind of scuffed. It's kind of weird, but it works for me. Technically, I could use the crystal tracker. Let me see. I think I do have the crystal tracker somewhere. The crystal tracker is like a program made by like a guy. And I mean, it works very well, except it kinda sometimes doesn't. I'm not sure if... Yeah, it's gonna give errors, but Crystal Tracker can open the Pocket Crystal, the SM files directly. And like it can play the songs, but the problem is it kind of sounds weird. I have no idea what I did to Notepad++. Like, you can, like, it plays the song, right? But it doesn't sound quite right. And this is not a disservice to like the guy who programmed this. This is really good for anyone who wants to program directly and not want to deal with the MML stuff. But the problem is that the sounds don't sound exactly like the Game Boy or like the emulators. And so I don't really like using this. I could probably use it to like fix the loops and stuff. But you can see it doesn't sound exactly like the Game Boy. But it plays the songs from the ASM files, which is awesome. But they don't sound exactly like the Game Boy, right? It sounds slightly different. Yeah, that's why I don't use Crystal Tracker, but that's an option. My method is old and weird, and I don't recommend it. So yeah, thanks for showing up. This was really fun. Explaining what my process is, and oh god, almost 4-hour stream. Yeah, see you. I'm gonna have dinner, and thanks for showing up, and I'll see you next time. I'm gonna try stream tomorrow the Phoebus and Magikarp stuff. Let's see how I'm doing tomorrow. Anyway, bye bye.